happened on Friday. Seriously, I was gonna use my MacBook for the entire weekend. I had lots of things I was planning to do on it. Anyway, at the moment, I was looking to downloading some cringy edutainment games so I could play them with my friends on Discord and make all sorts of jokes about them. They are the sort of games that are supposed to make 5-year-old you smarter, but it really just makes you feel stupid. I was originally going to play some of the school games, but the audio failed to work when I would start it for whatever reason, and yes, I tried playing it on the other computers, but they all had the same issue. Then again, the game was released in 1996, so I didn't expect it to work. I was having a hard time finding good links to download these edutainment games, so I decided to resort to RapidShare to find games like these. They have a search bar, so I typed in the word edutainment. Boom! Edutainment galore. I was so excited, I didn't know where to start. I wanted to play one of the more obscure edutainment games, because my friends mostly already know about the popular ones. I was scrolling through, until eventually, I found a file. Marcello Funhouse. With a name like that, I knew it would be something. Edutational. If that's even a word. Without any hesitation, I clicked the download button and prepared myself for a cringe fest. Once the download was finished, I opened the zip file. There was no game, just a text file and an MOV file. I was annoyed, yet curious at what those files were exactly. The name for the text file was nothing but a single apostrophe, while the MOV's name was Marcellos_funhouse.move. I opened the text file. It was nothing but binary code. And before you ask, no, I did not translate the code. Confused, I opened up the MOV file. It took a while to open, mainly because my computer was full of storage, so things would load rather slowly. I thought the video file would just be instructions on how to play the game, if there even was one. It finally opened up after about 40 seconds. I wasn't really prepared for what I was about to see. The video started with this poorly drawn dude standing in a dark, crimson room. The dude, who I'm guessing was Marcello, was wearing a green hat, with a red shirt and blue pants. He had no arms. The most unsettling part was his facial expression. His eyes were bloodshot and were staring at the camera, and he had this menacing grin. This, along with how poorly drawn it all was, for some reason rubbed me the wrong way. The entire video appeared to be recorded off a VHS tape, as I saw very noticeable buzzes of static. Despite that, the video looked clear enough for me to see the room. It was a hallway, where I saw two doors respectively on opposite sides of the wall. I could also see something in front of the right door that appeared to be a poster of some sort. It was rather hard to see, due to everything being a dark red color, which blended everything in. The audio, on the other hand, was nothing more than a low-quality ambience, with a few ghostly murmurs here and there. After about 50 seconds of this, Marcello began to slowly move closer to the camera in a weird fashion, similar to that of Agamemnon counterpart. The audio turned into what sounded like a crowd screaming, getting louder and higher pitched with how close Marcello was walking to the screen. After about 10 seconds or so, he was up close to the screen. As I stared harder into the screen, I began to notice some details on his face. His eyes were looking more pink, and appeared to have dark bags underneath, and his teeth were more yellow. I was beginning to get uneasy about this. Out of nowhere, Marcello lunged at the screen alert FNAF, with no sound. The screen then cut to black. I then heard a low, gruff voice say RTNHELL. I had no idea what was even going on at this point. video then cut to a different character in a grey room, hanging from a noose. This character was also wearing a green hat, but with a green shirt and blue pants. His eyes were huge black holes, and a bunch of phones were laying on the ground, shattered. I'm guessing those phones belonged to him or something. It then cut black to black for about 3 seconds, before cutting to a new scene. The background was a poorly drawn hill. There was another character, standing in the middle of the screen. This character was wearing a red hat, red shirt, and brown pants. After about 5 seconds of silence, a bunch of creatures from a mod of Spore, Dark Injection, pop up out of nowhere, and begin to attack the red dude. The dude attempts to flee from the creatures, but it's too late, as the creatures lunge at the red dude and continue attacking him. This was all done in a realistic manner. The attacking continues for 10 seconds, until the creatures leave the scene. The red dude's realistic-looking corpse is shown. His left eye was gouged out, and his right eye was bloodshot red. Blood was trickling down on both of his eyes. The red dude's face was torn up and grotesque beyond belief. It resembled a zombie, but even more sickening. It then cut to another dude. He was wearing a blue shirt, with brown pants and hair. He had gaping blue eyes. He then said in an angry G major-like voice, "You will regret watching this video. Marcelo won't be happy about this." After this, it cuts to a pair of white text along with the sound of a music box playing Brahms' lullaby. The text read, "Marcelo will torture you in 2 weeks." Afterwards, it cut to text on a blue background, with Marcelo's head, smiling at the camera with a creepy grin with bloody teeth. The text was below Marcelo's head. This time, it read, "Something bad will happen soon," while low-pitched Pac-Man music played. This happened for 6 seconds, before finally cutting to black. The video finally ended, and my screen went black. I was at a loss for words. I had no idea what I watched. I sat there on my bed, trying to digest what the hell just happened. I attempted to turn on my computer, but to no avail. That file must have destroyed my computer. My laptop was already filled up, so I guess that file was the last straw. I heard a knock on my door. I jumped at the sound, but I pulled myself together and walked over to the door, thinking it was my dad. I opened the door, and I saw a note, poorly wrapped, with a smiley sticker on it. The sticker looked rather realistic, and it had bloodshot eyes. I picked it up to read it. It was all in Russian, and was poorly written in red Sharpie. I had to use Google Translate on my phone to translate letter by letter. I managed, but the outcome of the translation nearly made my heart stop. "You will suffer in fire, Marcelo." Here I am right now, typing this on my phone at the Apple Store, and trying to find a replacement MacBook for a good price. I swear, I keep having to look over my shoulder every minute.